from a layperson's standpoint, chiropractic is viewed as a commodity. It really is. And this is something that we as professionals, we as chiropractors need to realize is that the majority of the population have no idea what a chiropractor is or does. Maybe they've never heard of chiropractors before, or they've heard of them, or they have some stereotype in their mind of what we do. And there's all kinds of misconceptions and misinformation out there. And frankly, for people that maybe do have a little bit of understanding of chiropractic, they have grouped us into that whole treatment of symptoms category, along with the medical doctors and the naturopaths and the massage therapists and the physiotherapists and anybody who provides some level of treatment for symptoms, be it musculoskeletal pain or any other symptom. But we have really been classed into that category. So for us to stand out in our community, we have to create a brand. We have to create a stand for what we truly believe in, for what we deliver, and be very vocal about what we don't deliver. That, in fact, in my opinion, is more important to let people know what we don't do as opposed to what we do. So this is something that we're going to talk about today, and I think this is really important for us to get a handle on how we do that. A lot of us are doing some sort of online marketing. We're doing some level of outreach to the community. So whatever we're doing, it's vital for us to make sure that we have a clear definition of who it is we are and what we're delivering. Essentially, what we're going to coin this is we're going to talk about how to stand out in a chaotic world. And this is really, really important. And think about this. The general public is absolutely bombarded with information from everywhere we turn. We are in the media age. So everywhere you go, whether it's radio, podcasts, on your mobile device, on your television, social media, everywhere you go, people are trying to grab attention. So this is really the age of trying to grab attention. That's really what we have to do. So we have to be really good at grabbing people's attention. And that's what we're going to talk about. So as we go through this, the first thing we're going to talk about is really trying to define your unique brand and voice. And again, as I mentioned, the general public views chiropractors as a commodity. They view us as treaters of pain. So for us to be different, it's very important for us to train with our team and identify what makes us unique. So let's carve out a distinct identity. So are we trying to build a family practice? Dr. Stephen and I were just talking about that, is positioning ourselves as the expert for children, or the expert for families, or perhaps it's young or high level athletes. Perhaps we want to go after busy health professionals, maybe those in a higher income earning bracket who have a unique set of health concerns, be it mental, emotional, physical, whatever they may be. And also, it could be prenatal health. It could be us basically setting ourselves up to be the experts in caring through expectant moms through their pregnancy. Or perhaps we're focused on longevity. Perhaps we have a calling to help people as they age, to help them age gracefully and independently. So there's all kinds of ways that we can do this. So this is really the thing, is that we have to decide in our office, and this is a great conversation to have in your staff meetings with your team, is that what makes us different? And ask your team, what makes us uniquely different? So in other words, if your team was out talking to their family, talking to their friends in the mall, talking to other people, and they asked, hey, where do you work? And I work at so-and-so chiropractic office. Oh, what do they do? Have them make sure that your team is extremely articulate in how you want them to explain what it is you do. So whether you use a specialized technique, I mean, most of us are doing some level of corrective care. Some of us are very involved in corrective care. Some of us just kind of dip our toe in the pool when it comes to corrective care. But whatever it is you do, get good at it, but be really articulate at how you explain what it is you do. Maybe you do some level of scoliosis correction. Maybe you have some level of certainty to see children, with specific neurological disorders, and you can articulately explain, or your team can articulately explain, what makes you different in that regard. Maybe you use some level of a technique, and this is really common in chiropractic, and the general public is looking for this. If you use some level of a gentle or an instrument based or a quote unquote non-cracking technique, and although that term makes me cringe, we can't be so stuck in our own thinking that we ignore what the public is looking for. So much of the public is looking for a chiropractor that doesn't go and quote unquote crack their neck. They embrace somebody who uses an instrument or somebody who uses like a network technique where it's just very soft touch. So these things are very important to grasp or have that skill if that's something that you want to put into your practice, but be able to explain that or position yourself as an expert in that. Perhaps you have a medication-free philosophy. This is something that I adapted years ago, and I really took a stand against all of the propaganda that the pharmaceutical companies were putting out there, and I became very vocal about it. In some cases, it got me into trouble, but what it did is it created a real identity for what we stood for, and therefore attracted a tremendous amount of people into that vision. So, whatever it is that you are passionate about, don't be afraid to be vocal about it. Perhaps you can create a signature program that aligns with your passion and expertise. And this is something, and I would tell you from a marketing standpoint, this is fantastic if you can start to work on this. So, when we started getting highly involved in nutrition in the last few years of my practice, I got my nutrition certification, and I was doing a lot of nutrition consultations. I actually developed Dr. Collins' custom thyroid enhancement program. People go, "Oh, what's that?" It just created interest. It set me apart as being something unique. And I would talk about hormones, and I would talk about the proper supplements to affect thyroid function and hormone function. And thus, it created a huge following, people wanting to come to nutrition talks and wanting to have one-on-one consultations, and thus buying supplements as a result of that. And it was just something as simple as creating that unique brand. So create a unique brand. Maybe it's Generations Chiropractic, uh, custom pediatric neurological enhancement program. Something like that, that the public go, wow, this sounds like it's really important. But creating a tagline like that, again, sets you apart. Next one. Educate through events and workshops. And I would say for you guys that are doing this, congratulations. This is again really important to start having workshops that you can get out there and the public, the general public, get to know who you are. They get to know your personality. It's not because they're coming for more information. Information's available everywhere, but they want a personality who can be a leader, who can share a vision. So it establishes authority and it establishes trust by hosting these workshops or even webinars if you do it online. You can do lunch and learns, you can do health expos, do free spinal screening days, patient appreciation days. I love the community dinner thing. We made that a regular thing in our office to do, and that was so much fun. And it was just a very non-confrontational way to bring people in. We would serve them dinner. People would come for a free dinner. Fantastic. But they would learn a little bit about who we were. They would learn a little bit about what we delivered and what we stood for. And thus it exploded our practice as a result of that. So, and we always focused on topics beyond pain relief. So that would be my suggestion is that again, pain relief stuff is everywhere. So if you're talking about your lower back pain program or how you deal with migraine headaches and stuff like that, I mean, that's really common. Everybody deals with that. But if you have specific topics on whether it's posture improvement, stress resilience, sports performance, ergonomic workplaces, things like this that can then transcribe or translate into the benefit of chiropractic care, the benefit of correcting a spine, correcting subluxations, removing the interference from the nervous system, and allowing the body to express its full life potential, then incredible. You've captured attention by that. I used to love the heart disease and cancer prevention talks. Those were our biggest talks. We would do those at the dinner. So we would advertise the event in the fact that we're doing a natural approach. So it'd be Dr. Collins' natural approach to heart disease, or Dr. Collins' natural approach to getting off of heart medication, or even the natural approach to cancer prevention. And that would be the title of the talk. We would do it at a dinner, serve people free dinner, and have 250 to 350 people show up for a dinner. Half of them were not patients of our office, and thus what would happen is that they would capture the vision and they would end up wanting to come in. So again, it was something that set us apart. Showcase social proof and testimonials. I talk to you guys about this all the time, and if you haven't done it, I don't know why you haven't done it. Is set a camera, an old iPhone, whatever it is, go buy an iPhone 8 for $200 and get a tripod and set it up in the corner of your office and plug it into a charger so it's always charged and have it there to just capture testimonials. And if you haven't done that, I'm banging my head against the wall for why you haven't done that, because it is the easiest way to get people on. People love to share their story, and if they're having, it's an honor to be asked to share a testimonial. somebody who's had great response. And most people are more than willing to do that. And therefore, when you get asked to do a testimonial, you feel more attached to that office. So not only will it give you testimonials that you can share with other people, but the people that you ask for testimonials become warrior people. They love you because you know how much they've done well with your care. You've honored them by asking them for a testimonial, and they literally become patients for life as a result of that. When you, and here's the thing, and this is human psychology, when somebody can verbally express, because you have to cognitively concentrate on what you're saying, when you can verbally express your feelings or a testimonial in the positive relationship that you have with that office or with that chiropractor, you solidify it in your mind. So what you're doing when you're asking for testimonials, for no other reason, you're solidifying the retention of that specific patient. So start asking everybody for testimonials and watch your retention. If nothing else, watch your retention. And then here's the thing, is that you use those testimonials to start to share with other people. And here's the thing, is have a series of questions that are going to lead people into talking about not the fact that their headaches went away or not the fact that their back pain is better, but how is their performance? Are they playing better golf? Are they playing better sports? Are they able to go on hikes that they couldn't do before? Do they have higher energy? Do they not have to nap through the day? Do they have better emotional stress management? Are they less, do they have less arguments with their family or with their spouse? Do they have maybe less medications that they had than when they were on when they first started coming into the office, and they were able to get off those blood pressure medications or the cholesterol medications or the antidepressants or whatever that is? Those are huge because that's what the people want to hear. And here's a big thing to understand, is that the general public is absolutely inundated with pharmaceutical ads. Like, they're everywhere. They're on social media, they're on television, and you cannot watch a show now without seeing some pharmaceutical ad. I mean, the big one now I see all the time is Ozempic or Wegovy. You know, they're these weight loss drugs, these diabetic drugs, essentially what they are to lower blood sugar, to help people to lose weight, and they're causing all kinds of problems. And people know that it's wrong. People know that it's just the easy way out. It's almost like giving into that is a dagger to their self-esteem. So to be able to help them to understand the side effects of that, and that there are easier ways and better ways and more effective, safer, more natural ways to get the result without the medication, and they all revolve around removing interference from the body's ability to function, it's huge for your practice. So anytime that you can have somebody, a third party, give you a testimonial about how they're getting off medication, that is massive, massive, massive. So share these stories when you get these things. Have a staff member, hire a teenager, whatever that is, to put them all together, edit them, get them on your social media, put them on your, you should have a page on your website of all testimonials. Like, share, get a video in your office where it's just on a constant reel where people are just talking about their benefits from coming to your office. It's absolutely huge. Number four, strategic community partnership. So, you know, and this is something that I did through my career, is that I would go, and I really focused on the gyms. I would go to every single gym, and my question was who's the manager? And hey, I'm Dr. Colin. How can I help you? How can I help you succeed? They all want help. Can I come and do talks for you? Would you like me to do a talk on weight loss? Would you like me to do a talk on proper posture or ergonomic workstations or proper lifting techniques, or even a talk on helping people manage core strength, you know, anything like that? And they would embrace it. And I had a great relationship with the biggest gym in town, and I would go there basically on a bi-monthly basis. Every couple of months we would go, and they would advertise it. That was the beautiful thing. They would advertise it. I'd typically have 40 to 60 people there and do a 45-minute talk on whatever the topic was, and get all kinds of questions and all kinds of people wanting to come and see me after that. It was really a great way to build those relationships. So look for, whether it's gyms, trainers, yoga studios. You could go to nutritionists in town. And midwives is huge. If you want to build a pediatric practice, have relationships with midwives. Make sure every midwife in your community knows who you are and knows that you see families, you see children, you see infants. And a lot of times you can talk to them about partnering. Maybe bring them in. Talk to the midwife about bringing them into your office to do a talk to your patients. You can go talk to sports teams, massage therapists, naturopaths, golf, this is a big one. Golf, if you like sports, golf professionals, get to know every golf professional in a 30-mile radius of your office and talk to them about, doing workshops with them for golf performance. So for their students that come for lessons, if they have spinal dysfunction or if they have scoliosis, talk to the golf professionals, how that's going to affect their swing. It's going to affect their shoulder turn. It's going to affect their club head speed. It's going to affect their ability to get through the ball. Like when you start talking about these things, people relate it to what you do, and you can say you can help them get better results for their people. Then all of a sudden you become the expert, and they start sending people to you. Hockey is a big one. We're here in Canada, and this is one thing that I really had a lot of success with, is that I just positioned myself as seeing young athletes. And here's the big thing, especially with parents with kids in high level sports. And in Canada, you'll see it when kids play rep hockey. Dr. Justine knows this very well. They will spend anything. They will literally spend anything if it's going to give them a percentage of an improvement in their performance. I'm telling you, like whether if it's high level hockey players, figure skaters, whatever the sport is, parents will spend money on their kids to improve performance. So if you can position yourself, create relationships with hockey organizations, with high level sports teams, with hockey coaches, and just offer your services to come in and examine, do postural checks on them, do strength testing on them, look for scoliosis problems, and then talk to the coach and the parents about how this, something as simple as taking it, and this is one thing I did, taking in a bilateral scale to a hockey team and measuring every single hockey player on a bilateral scale. And if the weights are different, the strength is going to be different from one leg to the other leg. And that's going to affect their ability to cross over one way versus the other. So their crossovers to the right, if they've got a difference in their weights, their leg weights on either side of the scale, the bilateral scales, then their crossovers to the right versus the crossovers to the left are going to be weaker. And if you can explain that to the parents and show them that, you have a patient for life. Like it's so simple, but then again, you've positioned yourself as the expert for that. So, and then start to offer some bundled services, co-host wellness events, or provide value-added perks to their clientele. And when I say bundled services, this is something I've talked about in the past, is that let's say you go and you create a relationship with a hockey team. Well, what do they want? I mean, sure, if they want better performance and you can show them that chiropractic care can improve their performance, and then you can also have maybe a relationship with a personal trainer where you can get them on a strength testing program, or then you can provide a nutrition program for that athlete, and you can bundle those services together. And therefore, there you have a high ticket care plan for those people. They will pay for it if you've positioned yourself as the expert and the person who knows that, because they're looking for that stuff, but they're going to look for it somewhere else if you don't provide it. So think about where you can bundle your services together and start to increase the engagement of each of those people that come in. And again, it further positions you as the expert. Next one, targeted digital presence. Well, um, I did a talk last week on website, and here's the thing. I want you guys all to look at your website, and I had a conversation with a couple of our clients in the last little while. If you have a website that is a encyclopedia or a brochure, and you've got all kinds of stuff on your website about stretching and nutritional stuff and recipes, you are wasting your time and energy. Your website needs to do two things. It needs to be positioned so that you are the expert, and it needs to be very mobile friendly. So you have to have a website that shows up very good on the phone and what we call above the fold. So when you download a website onto your phone, the first image that you see on your screen is called above the fold. There's a lot of stuff below the fold, but you have to scroll up and scroll to see all that stuff. So above the fold is the first image that you see, and there should be a video of you talking about who you are and why you are different, why you're the expert, why you're the specialist. That should be the first thing that people see on your website, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that they can put their trust and their certainty into. So that's really what has to happen. So if you've got a whole bunch of extraneous stuff on your website that it has no bearing on chiropractic, get it off there. That's stuff for your social media. You can put that stuff on social media, but that shouldn't be on your website. Your website should do two things, and that is position you as the expert and have multiple calls to action. So that person decides to say, okay, I am going to see this person. I am going to make an appointment. So that's the most important purpose of your website. So, and then consistently use social media to post those other content like blog posts and other videos, performance topics. That's where you can put your stretching topics and nutrition recipes, all that other stuff. Okay. Next one, leverage referral and loyalty programs. So, and again, here's a big thing is that if you don't have a referral program for your current patients so that there's something in it for them to refer somebody that could use their services, you definitely need to put that in place. There needs to be some incentive. So just suggesting that they refer people or asking them, hey, who do you know? Or who went through your mind when I did that talk? That's one thing. But to be able to say, okay, not only here's a discounted fee that you can go send that friend or family member in for care and they get a discount. So you look like the really good guy, number one. But then taking it a step further and say, if that person comes in with that discounted coupon and it's got your name on it, then you're going to be entered into some sort of a draw for whatever, for an iPad, for a new bike. You're going to get a gift certificate for $25 of product, or maybe you're going to get a new cervical orthopedic pillow. So start thinking outside the box about giving away things that support people who refer in. So have these referral programs in place, and you really have to be you have to think outside the box. People want to be rewarded for doing the right thing. It's just human nature. They embrace that. So just expecting they're going to refer, it's your referrals are going to be few and far between. But when you create an active, incentivized program for them to come in, then you win. The next thing is that a lot of you are doing, and again, going back to that referral thing, it could be T-shirts. Maybe you give away T-shirts with your logo on it, and then you get free advertising. People are wearing your T-shirt around, and people see your logo everywhere, and that creates again a brand. So something to think about there. If you're getting no shows, you're doing a lot of online advertising, but you're getting new patients to book, but they don't show up. Think about giving them some sort of an incentive to show up. Maybe they get their money back for the offer that you're giving them once they show up and go through your day 1, day 2, day 3. They would get all their money back if they decide not to sign on. Maybe they get a free pillow. Maybe they get a free home care kit if they show up. Maybe they get a $50 gift certificate in supplements or whatever that might be if they show up. So you're giving them some reward, because the thing is, and like I said at the beginning, people, especially online, people are bombarded by noise. There's tons of noise, and you have to stand through the noise. So even if you're creating an online presence and getting some responses, people don't trust you. So you need to think of ways to help them to feel more at ease of who you are, of what you stand for, and get that level of trust. So doing these things helps to build that trust and helps to build what we call the throughput, the people that actually engage and then follow through with the rest of the program, come in for care, and then actually sign on for care. So just promote these consistently and make the participation very easy. Next one, community sponsorships and local events. So, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how important it is to get involved in sports teams. Go to churches and ask churches, how can I help you out? And in fact, this was a big one too, is I would go and talk to the pastors, and it would usually be the pastor of one of our practice members, and that would give me the in and say, hey, John mentioned that I should come and talk to you, Pastor Bob, because he said a lot of people in your church are really suffering and taking a lot of medications, or there's a lot of people that are overweight and could use some nutritional counseling. Can I help you out by doing some talks or doing a makeover in your church or a rebuild the temple program? And again, none of them said no. If you go with that aspect of saying, hey, I just want to help you out, none of them said no. So sports teams, church groups, community runs, like community events are huge. To be able to put your logo on one of the shirts or provide a shirt or something, and then go and set up a booth to basically help the athletes at the run to do some, help them with some stretching, or maybe even give some adjustments during that time. School events are huge. If you have relationships with teachers or principals at school, and you can go do a backpack event or a screening event, especially at a time when the parents are present, where you can show people that, hey, your child maybe, take your SAM unit and or your bilateral scales and show them that potentially this child is starting to develop a scoliosis or a spinal dysfunction. That's a fantastic way if you can bridge that gap. But again, you go into it just offering your help. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help whatever it is you're trying to build. And they embrace it. They love having you in. And again, like I mentioned earlier, just distribute your branded gear. Like have some branded gear. Again, if you don't have like some t-shirts or hats or something with your logo on, people love getting that stuff. You could give them away as referral gifts if you want to, but then people are wearing your logo and it gets seen in the community. We used to have at every dinner, we always had a few patients where we would give away prizes or rewards, if you will, and they would get a gift. And the gift might be just something as simple as a water bottle or, maybe a couple of books or something, or, and for some people, it was even maybe a bouquet of flowers, depending on who the person was. People who were in our office for a year, 3 years, 5 years, they've had so many, like they've been in for 100 visits, they've been in for 500 visits, whatever that was. But again, we made it fun. And people love being recognized and rewarded. So if you don't have that in place, that's a great thing to get in place. And then you do it publicly. So again, it's a great thing to add. Social media. Okay, so here's the big thing. There's this thing called social media. Maybe you've heard of it. There's these social media channels, um, and they're free. The really cool thing is they're absolutely free. So you can post on social media as much as you want. So again, if you don't have a program where you are posting, and I'm gonna say minimum daily, daily on social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, LinkedIn, and I would say those are the big five. And if you don't have that in place where you're posting daily content, hire a teenager. Like get somebody. I mean, so and I'll here selfless plug here. We're we actually have a program now with our marketing agency is that we will take over your social media posting and do it with unique chiropractic content on a daily basis on all those five channels. So if you're interested in that, talk to me because we can get that going. So that's not a paid marketing, that's organic marketing, and it's all uniquely branded content for your office, not generic content, uniquely branded office. And here's the thing with social media. It's one thing to post pictures of your event and stuff like that. That's fantastic. But strategic posts that you engage conversation or you engage comments, maybe asking specific questions or maybe capturing somebody's interest on a topic and then saying, if this topic is something you'd like more information on, type the word subluxation in the comments and we'll respond. And then you engage them in some level of conversation. And then guess what? They end up becoming patients. It's as good as paid advertising if you do it strategically. So if you're not doing that, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity there. So again, it could be something as simple as doing exercise demos, ergonomic tips, injury prevention for all kinds of different injuries, performance hacks like how to get stronger, how to build core strength. I used to love the medication side effect of the week. I would often show it. We had a big Rubbermaid container. It was a clear Rubbermaid container full of empty medication bottles, and I used to use that all the time in some of the videos to show, hey, these are all the people that have dropped their empty medication bottles. Some of them were full, actually, empty medication bottles in our Rubbermaid container because they've started chiropractic care and they don't need medication. It's not because I'm taking them off medication. It's because now their body doesn't need medication anymore. And that was huge. And there's this thing called guilt marketing. So think about this. Guilt marketing is when you provide so much free content to somebody, you're helping them out all the time. You're constantly giving them tips, you're giving them nutritional advice, you're giving them exercise tips, you're giving them strengthening tips, you're giving them tips about their children, how to get better performance, how to reduce colds naturally, whatever that is. When you start giving all these things for free, guilt marketing says, well, eventually then when you ask them to come into your office or they have an opportunity to come into your office, or maybe there's something that's triggered that would say, okay, now it's time for me to go see a chiropractor. Guess who they're going to go see? They're not going to go see the guy down the street if they've got so much value from what you've delivered. So don't be afraid to give stuff away. Give as much content away as possible. Change people's lives organically, and then they'll eventually reciprocate. Couple more here. So network with local professionals. If you haven't looked at all of the physicians, all of the MDs in your office, and again, you're going to get ghosted on the majority of them. But if you haven't sent a letter to all of the MDs saying, hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so, I'm in practice here in whatever city, and I've seen a lot of your patients, like we have a lot of mutual patients in the past, I would be very honored to offer you a free assessment. If you'd like to come in and see what an adjustment feels like, invite them. I'll happily adjust you. Come on over. We can have a chat. Would you like to go for coffee and just talk about your practice, talk about what your goals are, talk about where your biggest constraints are? I'd love to make a relationship with you in that way. And I'm telling you, like it works. And you might get maybe 1 out of 10, but that 1 out of 10, next thing you know, is going to start referring patients to you for different types of conditions because they see you as a better expert than they are, rather than, and a lot of them, even though they're getting monetized for prescribing medication, they're getting incentivized by the pharmaceutical companies, they still know that that's wrong. They still know that people need natural healthcare, non-medication healthcare. So make those relationships. Reach out to corporate wellness managers that look at some of the biggest companies in your area, HR leads. And again, how can I help you out? What are your challenges right now? Are you having injuries in your company? Is there something, can I come in and do a talk on repetitive strain injuries? Whatever, can I do a talk on attrition? Like if you're having a lot of people missing a lot of time because of illness, can I come in and do a talk on healthy immune system? Go to fitness centers, like I said, talk to the gyms, make relationships with the trainers. Real estate agents, big one. So that's a really big one. Or even insurance agents. These are, again, great relationships to make. And this is something that we set up years and years ago when I first got into practice, was a business networking group. And I would go to many of my friends who were professionals, and then other people started filtering in, where we would meet on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m., and we'd have a breakfast. We'd meet at a local restaurant. We had a private room, and everybody would sit around. We'd have breakfast, and we'd each have an opportunity to talk and share what we did. And it was a great networking event. And you might find that some of those are already set up in your area. So just become part of them. And I would say go to the charity groups like Rotary and Kiwanis. They always want guest speakers. They always do. So just offer your services. Say, hey, I'd love to help you guys out. I know you're always looking for guest speakers. I'd be happy to come and do a talk on raising a healthy family outside of the medical model, or raising a family without medications, whatever that might be. So again, all you got to do is just make the call or send the email, send the letter and ask, and boom, you're seen as the expert. And then the last thing is start tracking the data. So for you guys that don't keep your stats, and the biggest thing is keeping stats on where these new patients are coming from. Like, it's one thing to keep track on how many new patients you're getting, but where they're coming from, and how they're converting. So start to monitor the conversions. So whether it's from your workshops, from your online ads, partnerships, and again, it might not be 100% perfect or accurate, but you need to have some idea on what's working and what's giving you some return. And use your referral resource tracking, like from calls or coupons or whatnot, to start to monitor. Like those gift certificates that you pass out, you should make sure you know who you gave that gift certificate to. Like, make sure you write the name on it so that you know which of your patients, which of your practice members are actually handing out those gift certificates to other people when they come back in, so you can thank them and reward them. And the thing is, when you know what's working, then you double down on it. Like, I just had a call yesterday with one of our marketing clients, and we're talking about his return. And so overall, since he's been a client, he has increased his collections by almost 30,000 per month. And that's over the course of about 6 months. And we were talking about the return on the investment, and where these people are coming from. And he actually had it down to the fact that, so these many people came in from Facebook, but his overall new patients from other sources had increased as well. And I had to have the conversation with him that, hey, you know what? Some of those people may have seen your ad, and maybe they've seen your ad 4 times, and maybe they've gone and asked a friend about, well, what do you think of Dr. So-and-so? And the friend said, oh yeah, he's great, go see him. And then they come in, and the front desk staff, well, hey, how did you find out about your office? Oh, I got referred from my friend. But meanwhile, the ads have been indirectly driving people into your office. So when you start looking at the overall growth of your office, all of your marketing efforts should be contributing towards that. And that's really how to start monitoring those metrics. But if you can start to identify the biggest things that are driving it, then you just double down and put money towards those things that are driving it, whether it's reach out, live programs, lunch and learns, online marketing, your social media, whatever that is, then you start to know what's working. Okay, gang. Well, bottom line, when it comes down to all this stuff, is that it's really important for you to not just go through the motions. It's easy to get into the routine on a day-to-day basis, to wake up, to go to the office, to see your people, to go home, without really making an effort on developing your personal brand or your office brand. And I would say just all you need to do is just spend a few minutes a day or a half an hour a week on saying, how can we position ourselves differently? How can we reach out to the community so the community sees us as different than the other 40 chiropractors in my city? And that's how you win. That's how you build a practice that is sustainable. That's how you start creating lifelong patients who love you over the long term. So I hope this helps.